Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rayge, and we are back today with a quick preview video here in regards to one of the most meta-changing characters that we have ever seen come into the game, and it's really cool, guys. At the time of recording anyways, the new Fantastic Four members now have been officially added into the Marvel Strike Force game, so you can preview their full kit and details. We've already got a bit of that glimpse from the envoys and the content creators in the last week or so, but now we ourselves can actually take a look and, keep in mind, barring any changes that they may make behind the scenes, but we can preview the full kits and take a look at how they're going to synergize together. But what I want to bring your attention to, ladies and gentlemen, is in the coming weeks when these characters get released. We know Invisible Woman, MCU, she's joining our game this week. We have Mr. Fantastic likely being the next week. And then the following week or the week after that, usually there's a bit of a gap. In case they don't do it 3 weeks in a row, we may very well see Franklin Richards either in week 3 or week 4 at near the end of July here, right? So he is going to be the character that you want to be saving all your power scores for. He is going to be the one that's going to be making this the difference maker in Arena. For the time being, although Invisible Woman and as well as Mr. Fantastic are going to get their introductions earlier than Franklin, I don't believe the meta shift for Arena is going to change just yet. And why does this matter, guys? Taking a step back here in the big picture, why does it matter in terms of how we're doing in Arena and what we're, preparing for in terms of this meta shift? Well, this is probably the best way to earn power cores every single day, right? I mean, if you're in the top 10, you're getting 500 cores every day. If you're in the top 20, 450. Top 50, 400. This accumulates and adds up. And then, something I've echoed in my past videos is that there comes a time where you have to spend your power cores to make more power cores, and this is one of those instances. We saw this in the past with Annihilators where they've completely reshaped a lot of different game modes and their value. And what I really like about this new format, as you can see on screen here, is that these power core orbs for new characters, they stay in the store now for quite some time. So we can see here with Satana, obviously Invisible Woman's next. We saw here with the Hood, Helverine, but you can go all the way back to the Thunderbolt characters. And it looks like now Vigilante has been officially removed, but these characters have stayed in the store for at least a month after their addition and inclusion into the game. So the good news is that we have lots of time to build up power cores and accumulate, because Franklin Richards is going to be the most important character in this mix. And I want to talk real quickly why he's going to be the most important. There's a couple of things that he's going to be bringing into the game that we haven't seen before, and how he's also going to be stopping a lot of the key characters and the current meta that we know. But it all starts with his passive here, Fantastic Sun. First and foremost, if he has 2 or more of these fantastic allies, enemies cannot have their speed increased except by positive effects. So right from the get-go, he's already stopping a lot of characters from that turn meter manipulation at the start of battle, countering that speed meta that we know. So the resistance doesn't do much here, unless it's just applying his abilities. But when a Fantastic Four MCU ally uses their special or ultimate, he's also going to be filling up speed bar. So once again, he's introducing that speed bar mechanic back into the fold here for himself. And then as well, until this character completes a turn, he's also going to be gaining 5% speed. Fantastic Four allies also gaining additional speed. In Arena, if this character has 2 or more of the Fantastic MCU allies, in this case, probably going to be Mr. Fantastic and as well as Invisible Woman, all other allies gain 50% boost in speed. So they're going to be getting that advantage right from the get-go that we know already, right? So that's absolutely massive, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look at some of his other abilities, though, and why he's going to be such a prominent piece for the synergy of this team. His special here, Star Forge Striker, attacking enemies here, and as well as obviously primary and secondary, flipping all positives. But also look at this here. With the T4 of this upgrade, if this character has 2 or more Fantastic Four MCU allies, he's also reducing the duration of Safeguard by 2 on primary and secondary targets. So if he's targeting some of these characters that have the Safeguard mechanic, he's taking that away, guys. That's not something we've seen in other characters where we can remove the trauma and whatnot. Thanos Endgame is more notable for that, but this is really, really massive in terms of what he's going to be doing. Now, I do also want to point out here, his ultimate ability is probably going to be the largest and most important piece to his kit overall. If this character has 2 or more Fantastic MCU allies, he's reducing, once again, the duration of all positive effects by 2 on all enemies. This does include Safeguard, as it doesn't exclusively state that it's excluded. He attacks enemies for 200% damage. He's providing additional focus for his team, and as well, it's also unavoidable. And then what's notable right here, it's this new dynamic that he's bringing in, this new condition that's called Silence. If this character has 2 or more MCU allies, he's going to be applying Silence for 2 turns instead of the 1 to all enemies that's inflicted. And then applying as well the battlefield effect, Future Foundation on the enemy side here. In Arena, the battlefield effect cannot be cleared or replaced by another battlefield effect until 8 characters have completed their full turns. So that's kind of what he's bringing to the table there. And then it doesn't define it here, guys, but I wish it did, actually. The silence mechanic. The silence mechanic, essentially, from my understanding of it anyways, until it gets added to the game so we can preview it, is that he's going to prevent characters from gaining positive or negative debuffs. So they're going to be any kind of normal passive abilities that they're going to be benefiting from. They're essentially rendered useless, essentially silenced, right? So in this case, that's what's going to be happening to those characters. And it's what's scary about this is that this ability over here, it applies to all enemies. So for that turn when Franklin gets to go and utilize his ability, and if I'm not mistaken, I do believe his ultimate, he can use it from the very beginning of his turn, and he'll likely get that first turn to essentially shut down every enemy that he's up against in Arena. Massive, guys. So just think about when you're going into Arena and you're launching your fight, and right from the get-go, he's going to be shutting down all the passives, all the positives, and as well as debuffs on your team. And essentially, you're just a punching bag for this MCU team. And he can be paired with, once again, Mr. Fantastic, as well as Invisible Woman MCU variants. You really don't need the 3. And then you can make this team even better if you have Odin, Mephisto, and so forth, right? So that's why it's going to be really interesting. The mirror matches is what I'm going to be interested in, because how are you going to get that edge against the enemy Franklin when you have 2 against each other, right? Maybe the Emma Frost will come into play here. Perhaps a Cable, any kind of character that has kind of speed manipulation. But remember, again, as I alluded to earlier, right? Franklin does prevent, again, with this passive ability here, he does prevent enemies cannot have their speed increase except by any kind of positive effects, which in this case usually is speed up. So you're going to have to find and take a look at characters that provide speed up at the beginning, and maybe you have a chance to outspeed the other Franklin. So that's kind of the game plan here, guys. Make sure you get ready right now. I have, let's see here, 10,000 cores, and typically you can budget around 8 to 10,000 for the unlock, depending on how your orbs are going to be. But remember, we still have some time. For now, though, start saving right now, because he's going to be the most prominent and most important character of this team. Even if you get Invisible Woman and as well as Mr. Fantastic unlock, it's not going to matter, because he's going to be the most important piece to make sure that they complement and allow you to actually participate in this new Arena meta. So hopefully this is helpful, guys. Let me know what you think, comments below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.